We are in a remote part of a remote part of southern Colorado. Are you sulking a little bit? Yeah. Are you sulking a little bit? We've been having a little bit of a difference of opinion. I would like to sit here and doom scroll. He would like to go out and run around. Hi. 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 All right. We'll get out and take a WALK. Having to get up and walk the dog when it's still pretty cold out is the only thing that I don't like about winter camping. Yeah, because I'm not warmed up yet, even though I was sitting in the Jeep with the diesel heater on. I'm still, my metabolism hasn't kicked on yet, so I'm cold. I don't have any self-heating mechanisms working yet this early in the morning. Well, I suppose my self-heating mechanism is going to be taking a walk. I forgot to say good morning, so good morning, everybody. Kind of a chilly morning this morning in the far southwest of Colorado. We are camped at the confluence of the Dolores and San Miguel rivers, not too far from Naturita, Colorado, which you probably never heard of because not that many people come down here, but they should because, you know, it's beautiful. And if you're joining us for the first time, I'm Katie, that's Tuck, and we're on a pretty massive road trip. And I don't know what we're doing today. Well, the first thing we're doing is having some coffee and breakfast once I get back to the car. But we're not at the car yet. Tuck needs a pretty good walk in the morning. I'm just really happy that I have a relatively flat road to walk on instead of having to hike uphill for his morning walk. This isn't the deepest canyon ever, but the walls are actually pretty tall. I love this big chunk of rock that's just fallen into the water. The river is really shallow right here. And in fact, both of these rivers, the Dolores and the San Miguel, really aren't big rivers. You can raft down the Dolores River, but only like once every 7 years or something like that, when the water levels are high enough for rafting or boating or kayaking. But most of the time, they're very shallow rivers. It's kind of a bucket list. It's gorgeous. I mean, obviously you're going through these gorgeous red rock canyons on the river, so it's something a lot of people would like to do. It's just, you can't do it very often. Watch this. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You are such a good boy. Such a good boy. Yes, we make a big deal out of it because you're a good boy. Yeah, good boy. Even though I didn't really want to take a walk, that was very good to warm me up and kind of get me going for the day. It is one of the things that is actually a benefit of a dog. They make you move. The sun has come up above the canyon walls, but it is obscured by clouds at the moment, so it's not enough to warm things up, but it is a little warmer. That's just so lovely. The weather today is probably a little more suited to oatmeal, but I didn't feel like boiling water again. Hey, little muffin. You already had your breakfast. You did. And treats. All right, you can have a frosted mini wheat. Let me show you where we are on the map. This is Colorado, and we are in the southwest of Colorado, near Nucla and Naturita, which are two small towns, and we're sitting right at the confluence of the San Miguel and the Dolores rivers. Good boy. You're so cute. Let's go exploring. Can you hear him growling? He's growling. I stopped to look at this sandstone. Hang on. Stay. And he found something very worthy to growl at. I think it might be ducks or something. Okay, what could he be growling at that is out here? I don't see anything dangerous. There's nothing. Who knows what he's growling at? Did you scare it away? Whatever terrifying thing was out there? Good job. You're still on alert. What is there? He's staring down at the water. I have no idea, but I guess we should move on so that he is not so distressed. We are leaving the sheer canyon walls behind for a minute, and we are entering Paradox Valley. And I'm not sure I fully understand the paradox of Paradox Valley. So I have Wikipedia up because I still really don't understand. So the Dolores River flows through this valley, and instead of going down the valley, it goes across the valley. And that has to do with, in ancient times, geologically speaking, there was a lot of salt in this valley, and the salt collapsed or washed away and provided a path for the Dolores River to go across the valley rather than down the valley. But I still don't really understand it. I need someone to explain that to me in terms that I can understand, because Wikipedia is not doing it for me today. But there's a paradox about the water flow in this valley, and that it should be flowing down the valley and instead goes across. That's all I got. You don't love this part, do you? It's more dirt road. Tuck really doesn't like the bumpy roads. I have my four-wheel drive on and my sway bar disengaged, which makes it a little smoother for him, but he still gets quite concerned with the bumpy roads. The road we are headed back leads to a cool old mine. And I've been back here before, and I actually did a video of this area before, which I will link right here, up there. We're gonna go check it out again, because we're here. And I was thinking maybe that I would camp here tonight back this canyon, but I want someplace a little sunnier. I may regret that because I think it might be windy today, but it's not sunny in the canyon. This whole area of southwestern Colorado has a ton of mining, but most of it is not operational anymore. Even without the cool prize at the end of a mine to explore, this is such a beautiful canyon. It's not a very big canyon, it's not super tall, but it is kind of narrow, and you can get right up close to everything. And you just hope you don't encounter somebody coming the other way, because you're probably going to have to back up for a ways. Of course, the likelihood of you actually running into somebody else back here is pretty low. We are in a remote part of southern Colorado. In the summer, this would be a lovely camp spot, but it's not summer. I don't remember this being here. It kind of looks like a death trap. That one's not something I would trust my weight to. Yeah, I did consider climbing up that, but that is not safe. And you could look into the mine, and it looks like they've got the door open to the mine, like you could step in there. Not doing that. Are you gonna do it? Tuck, tuck. Tuck, tuck. Okay, I gotta go back over because Tuck wants absolutely nothing to do with this creek crossing, and I don't really blame him there. So I'm gonna go put him in the car. All right, here's a stick. You chew on that. I'll be right back. If it were a more substantial little river crossing, I would just carry him over, but that would be extremely sketchy carrying him over that. So he's gonna chill out in the car for a minute. He's got his yummy bully stick to chew on, and knock on wood, he's become reliable sitting in the car. He hasn't chewed up anything lately that he wasn't supposed to chew up, so we'll let him hang out there for a minute. All right, let's go back over our sketchy bridge. I am very much trying to distribute my weight evenly across all of those boards. Whew. Okay, we made it. Where we are is the Cashin mine. And there was mining activity here from the late 1800s to the early 1970s. And it sounds like the mine changed hands a lot of times. And that's about all I can find out about it. They mined copper and silver, and there was a murder here. And one of the owners went to jail because they salted the mine with other minerals to try to fool investors, but That's literally the entire history that I can find on this mine. And this is it. There's a mine shaft with train tracks coming out of it. And you can see by all the rocks around, for sure there was copper here. How would you like your job to be going in there? I can't believe the door has been torn off or cut off. But I'm not I'm not traveling back there in an old mine. We're gonna walk through this rather quickly just because who knows when it's gonna fall down. Maybe those were chutes to fill up ore trucks. And here's the cool secret passageway to the back. And this back part would have been where the miners lived. And this is a cool brick building. There's a cactus hanging from the roof. This is such a neat area. I imagine that it was a lot of hard work to live here and mine here. But, I mean, look at where you were living. Under the tree. Whew. And this was somebody's house. They had some wallpaper and drywall and electricity. There's a electric outlet over there. I don't know how many people would have been living and working in this mine at the time. There's a lot of holes in the canyon walls, so I imagine it could have been quite a few. And that place is pretty dilapidated. I think this building is the coolest. The roof has obviously seen some better days. So this one was attached to that brick building. And yeah, that has also seen some better days, but they had modern plumbing. There's actual plumbing fixtures in there for water and sewer. I think this place is cool. Why do I think it's cool? I don't know. It's just cool. Old mine stuff is cool. And I just kind of imagine living here back then and what it would have been like. I mean, where do you get your food? You're going to have to bring one heck of a lot of food back here. Because there ain't no town close. They must have carved the hole in the mountain just to make it easier to get to work. Because you could walk around this and not have to go through the mountain itself. But it's kind of cool to go through the mountain. And yeah, look at all the copper deposits on that wall. Way cool. This place just kind of makes me happy. So those are some railroad tracks too. So I guess ore carts would have gone up here and then dumped the ore down here. Or maybe ore was up there and ore carts dumped the ore here. I mean, this would have been about the right height. You could back a big truck up here and just dump. I don't know. I don't know the process of mining. All right, we gotta get back to the dog and back to the car and drive out of this canyon, go find a camp spot. There's stuff here, that's new. This is stuff posted by people who have explored here, and it tells the story of the murder that occurred here. That's not any official paperwork on the wall. That's people like me who are exploring abandoned places. Put some informational brochures up. All right, let's go back across the sketchy bridge. This lovely creek, by the way, is called LaSalle Creek. It flows out of the LaSalle Mountains. Just look how cool that is. I've got to stop procrastinating and get across this creek. I think if I ever come back here again, I'm gonna bring a board that's proper for bridging that creek. Or at least one that isn't 100 years old and ready to break. Look at all the cool carved out spots on that rock. That is the power of this little tiny LaSalle Creek as it's carving this canyon. I'm gonna try to sneak up on him, see if he's doing anything naughty. Oh, he's spotted me. Did you spot me? You wanna come out? Good boy. Hi. I was gone like 20 minutes. That's it. Did you think I was going to be gone forever? Did some looking, and there are some nice camp spots in the canyon that we passed, but I want to get out of the canyon. It's very shady in here. We're aiming for another spot that's outside the canyon, but hopefully not terribly far away. It looks like we are going to end up in Utah at the end of this day. Camping in Utah tonight. Welcome to Utah. Well, this was not the exact spot that I had picked out, but the road got a little excessively muddy, muddier than I would want to drive through. So I think this will do. We've got power lines again, and not as good of a view as we would have. And we don't have cell signal, which I would have just a quarter mile down the road. But yeah, I'm not mud bogging. Lights. I have to clean the mud off of my diesel heater pipe. If I don't clean this off, this mud will dry on here and just weigh it down and probably cause it to break again. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. All right, here's your food ball. I'm super hungry. I did not have lunch. I just had my cereal this morning. And we're gonna try the quesadillas again. And I'm gonna try not to burn them this time. Turn it down pretty low. Could be too low. That's okay. The worst thing that happens when it's too low is that the butter soaks into the tortilla more. Okay, what kind of bird tracks are those? They're definitely birds. Look how big that is. Wild turkey, sandhill cranes, something that's a good size. If you know, let me know. Let's check. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's flip it over and hope it doesn't all fall apart. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy about that so far. Okay, gotta stop. That one almost went too far. Hi, buddy. I don't think I showed you guys my campsite. That's the La Salle Mountains. We are in the Manti La Salle National Forest, and we're just on a really random dirt road, and dinner is served, and it's not burnt. And I think that's it for today. And I want to thank all of you for coming along with me. It's amazing that you're coming along with me. And if you like this video, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. It all helps the algorithm and helps keep me on the road. And we'll see you soon.